Okay, good. Today we are here at Grape and Glass in Concord with Kristen, the wonderful owner, and today we'll be interviewing her on behalf of Lift, Love, Respect, and Melanin. First off, we always come in, it's called All in One, and that segment is just telling us everything you can about yourself in 1 minute. So, and we know it's hard to do that.
Okay.
So that's the thing about it. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna put out there? What do you think is important? And it's all in 1 minute. So let me get the timer.
Okay.
And then once you are ready, we will start this timer, and it's on you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, go.
All right. My name is Kristen. I am one of the co-owners of Grape and Glass Wine Tasting Room. I'm also a proud single mom of an amazing sophomore college student at UNC Charlotte. By day, my full-time job, I work in healthcare. I'm a clinical specialist at Atrium Health. I've spent a lot of time, my groundwork is in respiratory therapy, ICU, ER, critical care. That is my passion. I love what I do. I love people. I love wine. I would consider myself very service-oriented. I'm in the process of writing a book. I can't wait to get it done. I love my family. I love my friends. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be interviewing with you guys. I like to work out, and I love to cook.
That was absolutely amazing. That was perfect. And first, as I saw the name, Grape and Glass, I really kind of wanted to know a little bit about that.
Okay.
Just a lot of people have kind of struggled with coming up with names and stuff. And you have like a really good name because it's like, it's not too advanced. It's really simple,
right,
but it's eloquent. Like,
right,
you get the gist, you get the vibe, and it's easy to just spread that name around. So I want to know, how long did it take you to come up with that and the inspiration behind it?
Okay. Well, actually, we purchased this business from a couple, and they were moving out of state. So the name was already there. Okay. We liked it. I thought it was catchy, and I thought it was cute, and I thought it fit the space, and I thought that we would be able to make it our own, because we made a lot of changes to the space since we've taken ownership. So I just really liked it. And, it sums up a wine room, The grapes are what makes the wine, and you need to pour it in a glass. You need to consume it. Very easy. So it works for me, and it worked for us. So I said, we'll keep it. Yeah.
Okay. And we know that you own this place with your sisters. So having business and family, how do you kind of balance that? Like, how do you know when it's time to, okay, this is business time and this is family time?
Okay, prime example, and my sister can attest to this. So a few weeks ago, and I just want to say that we always typically work very cohesively together. We have great chemistry, and it just works. Everybody knows their strong suit, right? So when we're in here, it's really our work dynamic. It just flows because I know that Renee is really good at this. I know that Sasha's really good at this, and I know that I'm good at this. Well, we did have an incident about 3 weeks ago where we were so busy. And I think too, what we have to realize is that sometimes when you walk into the door, so we're family, so it's going to be that time, well, this is going on with me, this is going on with me, this is going on with me, and everybody has an additional job, everyone has family, relationships, and everything, but when you walk in Grape and Glass, it has to be about Grape and Glass. So we have to leave that at the door, and I think, it was a learning experience for us a few weeks ago, because we've never had a time up until that point where we were not on the same page. And that day, we were not on the same page, but I know. And then my youngest sister, she kept saying, we just need to talk it out. We need to talk it out. And I said, no, we do not need to talk this out right now. We need to get through the day. Okay. Because like I said, we had a big event. There were 40 women in here, And sometimes people can just feed off of your energy, right?
Yeah.
And it translates to what you're putting out. It can translate in your food. It can translate into your service. It can even the drinks you're making. Like, hey, and then they're like, oh well, they're having an off day, right? So you don't want that to happen. So after we made it through, because it was a stressful event, then we were able to reconvene and talk about what was going on and get to the root of the problem and just take that time to communicate and work through our issues, right? And a lot of times I think too, I don't really think we had any major issues amongst ourselves because we were a good team. We are a good team. I think it was personal things, right? My personal things got thrown on the table. My sisters, their personal things got thrown on the table, and then it just became, oh, we got a problem. But it wasn't really a work problem, right? It was things that we were going through. We're women, we're human, and we are sisters. And who do you tend to jab at?
So it sounds like you are very controlled when it comes to adversity. Like you don't let just a problem come in and you start just going off emotions, but you still think it out. And you thinking about the future in the long term. So how do you, with adversity, obviously you've had adversity since you started a business. What advice would you give to somebody who's going through adversity now and trying to really just navigate through the adversity?
Okay, well, not just in business, but in life in general, just keep going, you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have moments where you feel like, every single thing is going wrong, but it's also about having faith for me. I'm speaking for me, in a higher power, and then faith in yourself and faith in what you're doing. Nobody's gonna buy into what you're putting out if you don't believe in it, if you don't stand behind it and be the best representation of your product, of your space, And I say this all the time. When I come in here, a lot of times, you set the stage for how the day is gonna go, right? And your week and your month, if you walk in the door with a good attitude and, hard work on your mind, you're going to have a successful day. And the successful day is not always about $1. It doesn't always equate to money. Sometimes it's just about who you reached, because sometimes reaching the right people can change the total dynamic of your business. And, it's just, for me, just staying encouraged, and never giving up. We've had a business before, and honestly, I would be so stressed about it, right? Because I was so consumed with being the best. This has to be the best. We and we had an ice cream business, but we had to be the best ice cream parlor in the area. But once I realized that success, yes, everybody needs money, but dollars don't always make success. It's a lot of times it's about the people that you're reaching, the difference you make in the community. And we're doing that in here. Some of the events that we've been able to host for Special Olympics of North Carolina, for Red Wine and Blue of North Carolina, which is a women's group here in Cabarrus County. Just those alone, just some of the work we've been able to do for other entrepreneurs, to be able to showcase their business within our business, that keeps us going, so you just got to work through, just push through. Yeah.
Thank you. You are obviously a testament of a hardworking, persistent woman. And a lot of people, just having a job, that's kind of all they can do, and they just okay, I go to this 9 to 5 and I'm done. The people with the passions out there who thinks that their 9 to 5 takes up too much time and it's too much work, I don't got time for this. How did you make time to do your business on the side? Where did you find that time?
Well, everything is about balance, right? Creating a balance. You got 24 hours in a day. How can I make the best use of my time? Time management, staying organized. And sometimes I still struggle with that because I'm here full time and I work a full-time job. And even though my son is in college, I still have a son, and then I still want to have a personal and a social life. But it can work, but there has to be the will to make it work, right? And just staying on top of goal setting. I want to achieve this week. I need to do this week. And just marking it off and making sure that you're doing the things that you say that you're going to do, because who is it more important to? Only you,
Yeah.
Nobody else cares really about what you have going on. So it's your mission to get done what you have to do for you. So, yeah.
100%. And what made you because it's 1,000 businesses out here, and you chose the wine business. Is it a certain reason?
Well, yes. So my youngest sister actually, when she saw that this space was for sale, she actually sent it to me, and she was like, hey, here we are. This is something we have been talking about for years. We have an older sister. One of our most favorite things to do, we would always go to wineries and wine rooms, and we love wine. And then sometimes we would just do wine tastings at our house, and we're like, okay, we're trying out this wine this week. But she ended up passing away. So we really wanted to, when she sent me that, I was like, okay, so maybe it's time, We just really wanted to do something that brought women together, especially minority women. This is a place for all people, but I will say that majority of our traffic flow and support comes from minority women. And I've even had several women come to me and say, we love coming to your place. We feel safe. We feel comfortable. We feel appreciated. We feel like our dollars count. So those things, that speaks volumes. And once again, it reminds us, why we're here, why we have a purpose. So, and then also we were always gathering, typically at my house. And so this has been a great gathering space for us, just as family in general, so yeah.
That's amazing. This place is beautiful.
Thank you.
Amazing. How did you know what aesthetic to go for?
Well, when we acquired it, it was such a push to get open, that we were like, okay, we'll change as we go. So we have made, when we first got here, the canvas was not the way we wanted it, but every month it's like, we make some structural changes or some aesthetic changes. And probably when you come back, it may be completely different again because it changes almost every month. But we have a vision. This business, we didn't fund it off of loans. We funded it off of our personal funds. So, even that causes you to be a little patient, right? So you have a vision of how you want it to look, and then sometimes it's like, okay, well, we got to be a little patient. We'll do the floors this month. We'll repaint next month. We'll do the ceiling this month. So literally, that's what it's been for us. We have just made changes as we've grown. So yeah, and we're still making changes. And like I said, we're completely going to have this area redone, and so hopefully when you come back, it'll be even nicer. So, yeah.
It's amazing. I can't see how it can get nicer, but
it can. But thank you so much.
I'm willing to see that. That's going to be absolutely amazing. Because you talk about the importance of a team. Like a lot of people get into this journey and they feel like maybe they don't got the right help, so they think like, I can do it on my own. How important is a team when you start a business?
Okay. A team is essential. You cannot, I cannot be in here and exist in this space without my sister. I can't tell you how important that is. And to have a good team, right? Because everybody on my team is a team player. You know, you can have a team all day. You can have 20 people. But if you don't have 20 effective people, you know, then it's really not beneficial. So for us, you know, for me, I am so thankful to have the best team, you know, because I know where I lack, I know they make up for that, you know, and where they lack, I know I'm going to make up for that. I know there's no way I'm going to let one of them sink ever. You know, it's like and sometimes when we are so busy, you know, just to sit back and say, oh my God, we made it through that. And there was literally 3 or 4 of us in here. And, you know, this place is at capacity. And sometimes it's been like that multiple times where like we might have an event during the day and an event during the evening and one in the middle of the day. And it's like, oh, we got through that. And it was literally just the 3 of us. Or then our mom will come in and it'll be the 4 of us. But doing the amount of work of a team of 8 to 10 people, you know, and you see 3 or 4 people making that happen. So definitely blessed to be amongst the best. So, yeah.
That is a blessing. And choosing a team, how did you know, how do you kind of select, okay, I want you on my team, and I'm going to try to stay away from you? Is that more, are you looking for qualities that you have in yourself, or are you looking for qualities that you're trying to obtain in yourself, or how does that go?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think, too, because, like, we actually, the other young lady that works with us that is not one of our siblings, you know, she's so artistic, you know, and a lot of times when we have events and things like that, like she can come in here, she's faster than I am, you know, and she's like, I'm like, okay, we got to make a balloon arch. And she's like, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think, you know, anybody could do it better than me, but she can. And that's great, you know. So I also, in building a team, look for people that have the same goals and they're going to treat, even if they don't have any ownership in your business, treat your business as if it was their own, okay? Because they're going to reap rewards of that too. Because as the business gets stronger, you know, their finances will increase. You know, the business finances will increase because essentially, you know, that's what it's about. Reaching clientele, servicing clientele. And so, what I don't look for in people, and some people are, especially in like service industry, some people are better in the front of the house and some people are better in the back of the house. But essentially just finding people that enjoy being around people, because that's going to reflect in every avenue of the business, whether you're out here taking orders or whether you're back there making food. You know, you gotta have a love and a passion for people, a love and a passion for food, a love and a passion for wine, and just putting out good service. And even if you don't drink, you know, that's fine. You know, I want to be creating an experience for someone that I would want to have, right? So that's how I think when I'm servicing someone, right? If I were out, what would I want to have, right? If I were out, just like I told you, that first batch of waffles, we burned. I would rather take more time to remake that for you than to give you something that I wouldn't want to eat myself, right? I don't believe in that. And so I think that's also one of the things that sets us apart. We take time aesthetically also to make things that are pleasing to the eye, right? Presentation is everything. If I bring you something that looks like I threw it on the plate, whether it's good or not, you're less likely to even want to try it. But if I make it look presentable, then it does need to taste good, but it makes it even more enjoyable. So.
That's a great answer, and I'm gonna take this interview is amazing.
Okay, thank
this
you.
is helping me out.
Yeah, good.
I got my own business, and I'm trying to do big things.
And you will.
Thank you so much.
You will do big things because you have a great personality. You're very well mannered. I think I saw your mom out there, so shout out to your mother. Raised a fine young man, and you will do. Because you have the will, right?
Thank you so much.
You already have the vision. Executing it, right? You can do anything you want to do in this lifetime, but you only get one, right? So make your days count, okay?
That's crucial. And our last question.
Sure.
If you could give one piece of advice to young entrepreneurs to ensure that they thrive as entrepreneurs, what piece of advice would you give them?
Okay. Enjoy and be ready to enjoy the wins, right? Enjoy the wins, take the victories, but also prepare yourself for a few losses, right? Those losses make you appreciate the victory, okay? Those hard days, those days when you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to do this anymore. You keep going, you keep pushing through, and there is some light at the end of the tunnel, right? Sometimes people go in business and it's so easy, right? It's like, it's so easy for some people. And it really depends on the dynamic of what kind of business that you have set up. But like I said, success can be, summed up in so many ways. So you also have to define what does success look like for me, right? Is it more than just numbers, okay? So for me, it is. Numbers are important because we need to pay the lights. We have a storefront, so we need to pay the lights and all the bills and the rent and all that. So yes, numbers are great. But like I said, think about other ways that you could be making a difference, ways that you could be changing people's lives, and sometimes you don't even know it, right? Because sometimes it's just having, like I said, even just a safe space, a comfortable space. All of those things matter, but also another thing, just keep going, keep pushing. I cannot stress that enough. If I gave up every time I thought about it, I wouldn't be here, And another thing, keep a positive mind frame, right? And if it's in your heart to do something, don't let other people deter you, That's just bad energy. Let it go and keep it out of your space, because sometimes we are our own worst enemies. Because you're going to already have to fight against, what's going on in the outside world, right? Don't bring that negativity into your mind. When you start thinking like that, you'll start living like that, right? So just remove that, If success is in your mind, if business is in your mind, keep that at the forefront of your mind. I am going to be successful. All those affirmations, you got to say them to yourself, right? Because you got to be able to be your biggest cheerleader, okay? Because there'll be people on the outside saying, well, maybe you shouldn't do that. You might not want to do that. You don't really have the money to do that to help you strive, okay? So.
And actually, I have one more question.
Sure,
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I heard you say something about faith. How a lot of people, when they think about faith, it's kind of like stepping out on a ledge. Like it's hard to do when you don't know what's beyond that. So for the people who want to step out on faith and they want to take that next step, maybe they want to start a business or a new journey, but they just thinking about what they might lose.
Right.
What can you give to those people?
Well, instead of thinking about what you might lose, think about everything you could gain, right? Perspective is everything. And you will never know how successful you can be if you don't get started, right? It's just, that's what it is a lot of times. It's just saying, hey, I'm doing this, and making that commitment to actually doing it and seeing it through, no matter how hard it may get. And I've seen it done. One of my other sisters is a prime example. She called me. She said, hey, Kristen, I want to quit my job, and I want to start my own food truck business. And I told her, I said, you know what? Go for it. Go, just do it. You have been saying this for years. Don't say it anymore. If it's in your heart to do it, do it. And she's doing it, and it's working. Has she had some hang-ups and some issues? Sure, of course. Everybody does. But it's that faith of a mustard seed. That's all you need. And you just go with it. That is all you need.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. Is there any remarks or any people you would like to shout out while you are here?
Well, of course, I want to shout out my sisters, Sasha and Shamichael. I want to shout out my mom. I want to shout out my son. I want to shout out Kristen Michelle. I want to shout out Chef Cookie. I want to shout out everyone who has been with us through the trenches. And I want to thank all of those who just continue to support us. We appreciate it so very, very much. There would be no Grape and Glass without you all. We can't thank you enough. And, we hope to see you all soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, guys.